Cryptic, where we're going to take a trip to the Garden of Eden in the Sudoku today. We're confronting Original Sin by Nordy. Now this puzzle is being recommended to us a lot, and I just took a look at it on Logic Masters Germany. It has a 99% approval rating, an average difficulty rating, but the thing that struck me was the sheer number of positive comments. Everybody loves this puzzle. And I had a quick look at the rules. They're they're quite intuitive, but they have the forbidden fruit. You can see we've got some forbidden fruits in the grid. They have a strange rule. Anyway, I will read you the rules in a moment or two's time. This is what I'm going to attempt to solve for you in today's video. Now, yesterday I had a very busy video day. I solved an absolutely wonderful puzzle, a sort of fog of war with magic squares by Brigitte, or Bridget. Not sure which. And then in later in the afternoon, I attempted this. Marty didn't call you back because he'd got the Wrogn number by Lake. You can see, well, hopefully you can see, that is one of the most complicated grids, and it's one of the most brilliant puzzles I've ever solved in my life. It's available. The video is incredibly long. It's nearly 2 hours long. It took me a very long time. The logic in there is absolutely stunning. And you know, it's all absolute nonsense. You know, for example, that you have to make sure this cage here doesn't add up to 26,091,998. I mean, given the number of ways we could have achieved that total, you can imagine how difficult that is. But yeah, the reason we thought we wouldn't do that on the channel was, I think, probably right in that it did take me some number of minutes to explain the rules of that one. The rules are very, very long, but I do recommend the puzzle to you. It is brilliant. It really is. So anyway, that's over on Patreon now, as is our monthly competition. So if you have any interest at all in perhaps making a solving video with me, this is going to be the prize this month. You don't have to have it. You could have something else instead, but we are offering that as a possibility, and all you have to do is solve the 16 puzzles in the Sudoku Hunt from the Sudoku Skunk Works. Absolutely brilliant. The feedback we've had on that so far has been stellar, as you can well imagine. So that's over on Patreon too. What else? I've got some birthdays to do. Oh, Fog of War. Yes. So I still have not heard from Apple. So our new Fog of War app is out on Android. It is out on Steam. It is really, really fantastic. There's an example puzzle from it. It was meant to be out on Apple last Friday, and we still haven't heard from them. I think it may be the case that by the time this video goes live, it will have been released. I'm expecting it at any moment. The moment it gets released, I will tweet about it. @CrypticCracking is our Twitter handle. Do follow us there. I know we're getting lots and lots of emails every day about this. I'm so sorry. I don't know what else to say. It's not in my control, but hopefully it will be with you very soon. Now, let's do some birthdays. I'm going to start off by saying a happy 20th birthday to Arden. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Arden. Your partner Faye wrote to us and told us that I think you originally grew up in England, but you're now in the Netherlands, and that you watch the channel most of the time. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant 20th birthday today, and I hope you get a large slice of chocolate cake. Now, someone I know who's not getting, or I don't think is getting chocolate cake, is Corey. Corey, you've turned 29 today, and I know this because your sister-in-law Shannon wrote to us. Shannon, I'm slightly guessing on the pronunciation of your name. I hope I haven't absolutely butchered it there. But Corey's over in County Durham. And, well, get this, is off to a Michelin star restaurant today. And next weekend, I'm told, is getting special Corey cake, which is lemon cheesecake with a picture of him on top. So you have to eat your own picture. Corey, I think it sounds like you're well set up for calories at the moment. I'm slightly jealous. Which Michelin star restaurant are you going to? Do let us know if you get the message. And I hope you have. Well, it sounds like you're going to have a very good birthday today. Next, Ariel. Ariel, it's your birthday, and I know this because your husband Tyler wrote to us. and said, I mean, I love this, that you have you now have a date night together where you attempt our monthly rewards on Patreon. I mean, what could be a better date than that? Forget your Michelin star restaurants. Just download the Skunkworks Sudoku pack and get going. That's absolutely great. Ariel, I hope you have a brilliant day. And a brilliant, I don't know if you're having date night tonight. Oh, I hope so. Many happy returns. And then finally, Mark. Mark, you've turned 30 today. And I know this because your wife Emma wrote to us, described you as being very caring and supportive. And apparently you find the videos are quite good for reducing anxiety. We get a lot of emails about that topic. Yeah, it makes us actually, to be honest, quite humble when we hear things like that. But anyway, Mark, I hope you have a great birthday today. Many happy returns on the big 3-0. I hope you get a large slice of chocolate cake. And with that said and done, let us turn our attention to Wrogn Sin by Nordy. I will read you the rules of the puzzle. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Each snake circle in the Garden of Eden, wasn't there only one snake? Anyway, that's each snake circle contains a different digit and is the end of a snake that moves orthogonally through the grid. Okay, snakes cannot touch themselves or each other orthogonally, but they may touch themselves and each other diagonally. The digit in the snake circle is the length of that snake. Okay, so I can deduce, and we do. Okay, the reason I was thinking we must have 9 snake circles is because each snake contains a different digit. And given the snakes are therefore of different lengths, because that's what the rule has just said, none of these snakes can, although they're snake ends, we're not going to be able to do that, because that would imply that these a contradiction. This would be giving the length of the snake, and this would be a different digit and giving the length of a snake, and that's clearly not going to work. So let's carry on with the rules. There was something else I wanted to mention there when it occurred to me as I was reading it. It's gone. Okay, orthogonally connected groups of non-snake cells are called gardens. So we've got more than one Garden of Eden, presumably. Anyway, that would be so funny, wouldn't it? No, you can't only have one garden if you've got 9 different snakes. I don't think you can anyway. Anyway, Simon, concentrate. Digits cannot repeat on a snake or in a garden. A small number clue in the top left corner of a cell gives the sum of the digits in the snake or garden that contains that clue. Right, so that's a 45, and what that means is it's part of a garden or a snake, the digits of which cannot repeat, sum to 45. I'm saying nothing. That would be solving. I'll come on to that in a minute. Okay, what does it say next? It says you can think of snakes and gardens as killer cages, where some of the sums have been given. Okay, that's helpful. So if you've never watched a variant Sudoku before, that probably won't mean anything. But if you're familiar with killer Sudoku, we can think of these clues as killer cages. Now, forbidden fruit. This is a very strange rule. Forbidden fruit. Digits joined by a red apple cannot contain a 5, cannot both be low, 1, 2, 3 or 4, cannot both be high, 6, 7, 8 or 9, cannot both be even, 2, 4, 6, 8, thank you, and cannot both be odd, 1, 3, 7 or 9. Oh, I see that 5 is missed out because there just cannot be a 5 on a red apple. And they are all the rules. That last one is bizarre. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I've remembered actually that I wanted to talk about what orthogonally, it said the snakes move orthogonally through the grid. I wanted to mention what that means. An orthogonal connection is not, well, that is an orthogonal, this is an orthogonal snake I've just drawn in there. Because the cell moves, or the snake moves and crosses a whole edge in order to get to the next cell. Now this is, oh, whoopsie, that snake is not moving orthogonally. It's moving diagonally, and that's not how the snakes move in Nordy's puzzle, so we mustn't do that. Okay, but these are all different snakes, aren't they? And there are 9. Right. Several things are occurring to me here. I will just spout. First thing, there are 9 different snake ends, and we know each snake end contains a different digit. So the digits 1 to 9 must appear in each snake end, and therefore 45 of the 81 cells in this puzzle are consumed by snake and are not garden. And we know that because of a secret I share with only my very favourite people. And that secret is that the sum of the digits 1 to 9, because each snake, wherever this 9-length snake is, that's going to take up 9 cells of the grid, isn't it? Wherever the 8-length snake is, it will take up 8 cells of the grid. Wherever the 7-cell snake is, that will take up 7 cells of the grid, etc. So the number of snake cells is going to be 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. And we know, if you know the secret, which I share with only my very favourite people, and of course you're one, those digits sum to 45. Now there are 81 cells in a Sudoku 9 by 9 grid. So that means 36 cells of this grid are garden. But you can't repeat a digit in a garden, can you? So there could be the smallest number of garden sections we could have would be 4 if each garden was of size 9. But perhaps what's... Yeah, okay, but each snake cannot... If we highlight all of the cells that are snake cells, snakes can't run into each other, can they? If that snake goes up there, that's touching another snake orthogonally, which it's not allowed to do. I'm sure it said, I think it said, yeah, we can't touch, snakes cannot touch themselves or each other orthogonally, but they may touch themselves and each other diagonally. So what we can't, these squares, for example, have to be garden. Okay, I will make them green. I get into a lot of trouble for making using the wrong colours for things that are self-evidently, obviously, green or blue or whatever they're meant to be. But okay, my garden cells are going to be normal grass colour, and my snake cells are going to be grey. Now, well, that's okay. Hang on, that is a one-size snake then, because it's totally trapped in. Ah, okay. Here's something then. So that means that all the other snakes have to be bigger than 1. So that one has to grow slightly. The 45 here is obviously, I say obviously, but because we've already learnt the secret, and whatever this is, snake or garden, in order to reach a total of 45 without a repeating digit, it must have all the digits 1 to 9 in it. So this is a size 9 region of either garden or snake. And size 7. Yes, okay. Let's look at this actually. That is not snake. Because if it was snake, it would have to reach a snake end within 3 cells, but you can't make 4 different numbers add up to only 7 in Sudoku. You can only just make 3 different numbers add up to 7, and that's if you use 1, 2 and 4. And that won't work, because although I can get to this snake end within 3 cells, if I was to fill these cells with 1, 2 and 4, This would be incorrect, wouldn't it? It's meant to be a 3 because that's how long my snake is. And it wouldn't be the correct length. So this, I think, has to be garden. And it's part... Oh, no, we don't know if it's part of a 3-cell sequence. It could just be part of it. Well, it could be in the limit. It could be a 1. It could just not a 1. It could be a 1-celler, a very small patch of garden, sort of, you know, a city garden plot or an allotment, rather than a great expanse on an estate round a castle. It can't be the fruit, can it? It's not going to be the fruit. Fruits can't contain a 5, so 5 in this column is quite limited. It's got to be one in one of the bottom 4 cells. Okay. Yeah. That cell is not a snake. And that's because if that is a snake, where do we connect it to? Actually, it's interesting. However you connect it, it is exactly the same length. If that's a snake, it's got to get to a head, or a tail. It's either that one or that one, isn't it? If it goes up, it would go there. If it goes left, it would go there. And either way, that's a 5-cell sequence. It's exactly the same. It's sort of a U pentomino. And 5 different numbers can't add up to only 12. The triangular number for 5 is 15. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So that's not going to work. So what that means is that is garden. Now, yeah, that's lovely. Okay, so now this is the extent of this garden. This garden is a modest-sized garden, a modest plot. Containing a nice apple tree, but it doesn't grow any bigger, because if it does, let's grow it. Now it's 4 cells, not including 1, and however we grow it from here, it will be at least 4 cells large, not including a 1, and that will add up to 14 at least. We've just learned the triangular number for 5 is 15. So if you knock a 1 out, you get 14, and that's obviously the minimum number you could make 4 different digits that don't include a 1 sum to. 14 is more than 12, knowledge bomb, so that doesn't work. So this is entirely enclosed by snake. Now, does that... No, I was going to say, does that have to have a... Oh, well, it probably does have to have a 2. Because the only way it doesn't have a 2 is if it's 3, 4, 5. Oh no, it can be 3, 4, 5. Oh no, it can't be. Hang on, no. I'm going through the motions on these on the fruit thing. If it was 3, 4, 5, the apple can't have 5, so that would be 5. That would be 3 and 4, but they would both be low, wouldn't they? That doesn't work. So there is a 2 in that section, and then 2 digits that add up to 10. That will either be 3, 7 or 4, 8. Now, 4, 8. Oh, I see. Okay, I was going, but hang on, we can't have them both being even or both being odd. But that's fine. So maybe... So 2, 4, 8 can't work then. No, hang on, what am I talking about? 4, 6. I'm going absolutely mad. 3, 7 or 4... So it's the same point though. 4, 6. If I put 2, 4, 6 in here, how do I make the apple work? They can't both be even, and they would both be even. So this must be 2, 3, 7, I think. Now, what does that mean? We can't have both of these being low digits. I'm looking at the rule for the forbidden fruit all the time. I'm not used to it at all. So 7 must be one of those digits. This is not 7. And they can't both be odd. So this is 2, 7, and we get to play. Our first digit is a 3, not in the corner, but exactly there. And this can't be a 3 anymore. Oh, but hang on. Ah. Oh, that's lovely. Right. How big is the snake that this body part belongs to? And the answer is 7. And that's so this teaches us the direction of this the way this snake gets out of the box. Because look, if it joined this, it would have to do that. Oh, hang on. I've just had a different thought altogether. Whoa. Okay. Oh, okay. It's okay, but I didn't notice this. Right. Oh, sorry. What I did was I said... Yeah, I missed something here, but it doesn't matter. Right, but just to close off the logic, what I said was that this had to be enclosed. And that was true. It does. It cannot grow. But what I could have done, why couldn't I have done that and had a tiny garden plot here? And the reason I couldn't have done that, I think I could have done that, absent the fact that would be, that snake has to get out, that snake has to get out, and both these snakes are completed now. These are snake ends, these are snake ends, and they both have to contain 4, which breaks the rules. Whoa, that was... I dodged one there. But I did see it. I did see it, but I only saw it belatedly. Sorry. So this is... Okay, so this is a large body part of the snake. And okay, and now the logic flows the same way, which is to say, okay, how does this get out of box 1? It either joins this snake, and that would be a 7, which is impossible because we have 2 and 7 on here, or it joins that one, which is what must happen. This is a 7, because we can't grow out the other side. We'll connect to another snake end. So this is 7, this is 2. Yeah, we could have done this. We could have done this differently. We almost don't. I'm not sure you actually need the forbidden fruit here, because what you could have done is gone. Wow. I could certainly have got this to be 7, 2, 3 very, very beautifully by doing this. Let me show you. If I'd focused on the body of the snake rather than on the apple, I could have just gone, okay, this body of the snake is length 7. That joins here or here. Where does the 7 now go in box 1? That would have been a nice way to do it, actually. I wouldn't have had to do any reading of the rules. Because I could have then gone, okay, 7 in box 1 can't repeat on a snake. And given one of these would have been the 7 that this body belongs to, 7 is forced into here. And once 7 is in there, how do you make the other 5 if you can't use 1? Well, you can't use 1 and 4, so you'd have to use 2 and 3. So anyway, that's all unnecessary, but it is true. So this is green, otherwise the snake. This has to grow, because we know, oh, actually, that's got to grow quite a lot. It can't be a 2. So this is at least a 3. So it's definitely got more growing to do. These squares have to be green, don't they, in order to frame this snake, if you like. There can't be any grey orthogonally connected to this 7-cell string. So that's an onion domino, whatever it was, apple domino. 34. So this is quite a big... Ah! Hang on, does that have to be snake? Yes. Yes. If this was green, we'd be saying this area is simultaneously summing to 7 and 34. 34 and 7 are different numbers. So that's great. That's got to get to a head or a tail of a snake. Well, not sure actually. This 34 is still not big enough, is it? So that's got to grow. Now, and it's still got to grow more, because the maximum size of those squares is 28, I think. And 28 is too small. I'm getting 28 by saying what's the maximum size of 5 squares, which is 9, 8, 7, 6 and 5 sum to 35, and deducting the 7 out of it. So I think the maximum sum of those is 28. Okay, so, and this area of green here, it can't be bigger than size 7, can it? So if that was green, it would have reached size 6. That's still not, it's still got room to grow actually. It can't be bigger than 7, because if it was of size 8, that would imply 8 digits, 8 different digits in the puzzle are summing to 34, and therefore if we know all 9 different digits sum to 45, the extra digit that was missing would have to be an 11, and there's no 11s in Sudoku. So that's how we can appreciate this must be a maximum of 7 and a minimum of 5 cells. That's got to grow. That's got to grow as well, because we've had our size 1 snake already. Yeah, okay, that is snake. Ah, that's huge actually, because that means that that snake is a length 9 snake. Yeah, this is snake, and the reason it's snake is that snakes don't branch. If that was green, then we know it has to be delineated and distinguished from the 7 garden, and it would have to be distinguished from the 34 garden. And the way distinguishment is done in the world of gardens is by snake being in the way, and that is not a snake anymore, it's something quite different. So this has to be snake, and now you can see that to get this domino to a snake head, it has to travel through this position. It's because its next move is going to be there or there, not both of those actually, only one of those. So it's a length 9 snake by the secret. Okay, that's interesting. That is not the end of this snake by bishop's colouring. Because think about a snake that moves orthogonally through the grid, i.e. always moving to a cell that shares an edge with it. Well, what that implies is that if you have a length 9 snake, it's an odd length snake. So the head and the tail should be on the same bishop's colour, if you think about the board being checkerboarded. I mean, hopefully that's clear. Imagine, if it's not clear to you, imagine you had a length 3 snake. Would it be possible for the length 3 snake's head and tail to be on different colours of a chessboard? No, because let's say that was a position. Then after 2 moves, you will always be, no matter which way you go, on the same bishop's colour. So hopefully that convinces you. But that means this is on a different bishop's colour to this snake end. So that is not this snake. This snake is different. Now, which other snake ends could this join then? It could join that one. That's on the correct bishop's colour, look. Oh, that one is as well. This one's on the right bishop's colour. That one isn't. I don't know if it could have got there, but that one isn't. No, it really isn't. That one, no, that's going to be on the wrong bishop's colour. I'm not sure. Actually, it couldn't have got there anyway. Yeah, because if it does, once these orthogonal moving snakes, which can't touch themselves, wiggle, and this one has wiggled into this column, getting back into their own column again always takes quite a long time. They have a wide turning circle. Yeah, that's 10 cells, I think, to get to this square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah. So, okay, so the only options for the 9-cell snake then are here and here. Now, which one of those is correct? I think getting to here is a little bit awkward because again we've done a rinky-dink, haven't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, you can do it. You can still do it. Yeah, you can still do it, although then you've got to be a bit careful with this 34 region not getting too big, because that can't get too big. And if you go to this one, it's not an absolute walk in the park or a slither in the garden, because you've got to do quite a lot of coiling, I think. 1, 2. Yeah, and that's, well, if those were connected, I can't run through this square. That square would be out of bounds, wouldn't it? Because that couldn't be part of this snake. So that would be out of bounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that... Okay, you can't go to this square if you're getting to this one, because if you do, there's not enough space for you to turn and get back here again. So you have to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't do it, actually. That's very interesting. You can't get to this square with a valid snake. There's just not enough. There's not quite enough space to do it. You have to do that. And because you can't go through this square. If you could have gone through this square, I wonder if that's why this clue is here. If you could have gone through this square, you could have gone 4 and then a U pentomino. And that would be 9. And it would work. And that could have been a 2. No, well, it wouldn't have worked for a different reason. That would have broken the 7 clue, which would have had to be 4 cells large. But anyway, in theory, it might have been possible to do it. But here, there just isn't the space. So what we now know is that this is a 9 and is joined to here. Now, that's going to be very tricky. So this can't be snake now. Because if that's snake, again, given the wide turning circles, you bump into this one if you try and turn quickly enough, and you can't get round it the other way. So that snake, does that have to grow? I'm unsure. But this is now not snake, is it? Because that would... Oh, so... I think that's going to be a 2 in the corner. But anyway, let's come back to that. This square is now definitely garden. So the 34 garden is growing. We can't go there because then we're going to bump into this. We then go here. We've done 5, 6. We've got to close this gap within 3. So we're doing something like this, aren't we? These two are now definitely garden cells. Therefore, we have to go through there. Now I've got 2 cells to connect. And it's, well, actually, it's definitely not using the forbidden fruit. If I do that, look what happens to this region. It's absolutely enormous, because everything connected to the snake would then have to be garden, and we get a great expanse of ornamental garden that we couldn't possibly make. Well, yeah, this would be 9 cells. It should be a 45. That won't work. So we can't take that square. So we have to take this square. And now those two are garden. And either that one or that one is the closing link in this snake to make it 9 cells long. and which one is it? Oh, I'm not actually sure immediately. I think this is going to be obvious the moment I see why. Let me try and work out why. Well, or maybe it's not this. Maybe it's that square. If that square's green, this garden is 8 cells large, so that's got to be snake, and it's got to attach to something, and now that prevents this from being. This is lovely, isn't it? It's really smooth. So that's finished this snake. This garden now has to be adding up to 34. It is 7 cells, so it's missing 2 digits that add up to 11. And what are the rules for the fruits? The fruits... Oh, no 5s on the fruits. No, that's not it. Okay, can't both be low, can't both be high. Can't both be even. Can't both be odd. So each fruit domino sums to an odd number then. Because it must be an odd and an even number. And an odd and an even number always sum to an odd number. So these sum to an odd number. There's 3 of them, so we're on the wrong parity. So this has to be odd in order to correct the parity. So that is 3, 5, or 9. It can't be 1 or 7. This hasn't got... Oh, there we go. Sorry, I didn't see this. But look, that just has to connect out there. And that's created a snake with a head and a tail. So that's a 5. And now we have to pen this in with garden. Oh, I want to go back and look up there because I could see a problem emerging up there. Yeah, let's do that actually. So what I was thinking as we were doing this is that this 7 I think is going to be very difficult. Because, well, not difficult but helpful. Because this has to be garden because the snake doesn't branch. And now, if this was green, this would be a 5-cell segment adding up to 7. Well, that's absolutely impossible. So that's got to be grey. That finishes this snake, which is therefore a 2 in the corner, a 7 in the allotment. I'm not sure if I can do any better than that. Do we know what this is? If that was... Well, yeah, actually we do know what this is. This is snake. If this was garden, this cell would then also be garden because it couldn't be connected to a snake end. And that's 6 cells that would supposedly be able to be summing to 18. Well, the triangular number for 6 is 21, i.e. because these digits all have to be different, they would add up to more than 18. So that's certainly snake. That's therefore snake. We haven't had a length 3 snake and we haven't had a length 4 snake. So this is 3 or 4 and both of these turn into garden. This rule could have wider application. It's a lot of fun. It really is. Yes, okay, so now what prompted me to look up here is I thought this was going to be a 2 as I was doing this snake. And this now can't go here, can it? Because it would be a length 2 snake. So that means this. What, does it mean anything about this then? Okay, we should audit what snake lengths have we had. We've had lots of the odd numbers. The only odd number we haven't had is 3, and that might be 3. So we've got 4, 6, and 8 of the even numbers. Let's just actually 3, 4, 6, 8. Can we... This can't be a length 1 snake, so that's got to grow, or a length 2 snake anymore. It's almost difficult for this to be garden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The only way that that is garden is if that garden is completely enclosed by snake. I don't know. That might well be possible, actually. That would have to be grey. That would attach to this one on the same bishop's colour as it. So that doesn't work. That's beautiful. You could just immediately say. Because that's exactly what we did here. So what I'm saying is, if that's grey, we can now tell exactly which snake end it goes to, which is this one. These are on the same bishop's colour. So what must the nature of this digit be? It must be odd. And we can prove it to ourselves. Let's try and make this join to this with a length 6 snake. You just can't do it. I mean, it's obvious you can't do it. So this is not snake. This is garden, and that's beautiful because now this has to be snake. Because otherwise this garden is far too expansive. So that's snake. So this can't be snake, because that would be a 4-cell region adding to 8. And that's not possible. For again, triangular number. If we know our triangular numbers, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. And that would be the minimum we could put in a 4-cell region. So that's got to grow. This, that could be an 8, I suppose, couldn't it? So we might have to be a bit careful. I.e. if the cell itself is an 8 to complete the garden. This... this drop... Oh, hang on. This definitely goes down. Does it have to go here? Oh, they're on different bishop's colours. So that might be able to, this might be able to be an 8. This is not snake. And that's because if this was snake, that snake would be finished. It would be a size 4, so everything looks hunky-dory. But then all of those would be garden, and that 8 would be in a garden of size 4 at least. That's too big for an 8 garden. So this is garden. This snake has to grow. So can those would be on different bishop's colours, so this would be even. That's got to grow as well. So either this one's doing this, or this one's doing that, or perhaps that. Oh, bobbins, I don't know. Let me mull this over for a moment. Or is it something to do with this garden here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, so this one can't be a tiny garden, because this can only grow by 1 more cell maximum. So that means at least 4 of these cells have to be snake, which means this is at least... Well, hang on, this is 6 then, isn't it? It can't be 8. There's not enough space for it to be 8. Yeah, this must be a 6. So this isn't 6, and this isn't 6. Which means that is not in, because that would make this of length 6. So this is either 3, oh, how big's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, no, that could grow and go down there. So this would be a 3. That would be a 4 and grow. And that would need to be 8. So that actually looks like it could be correct, doesn't it? How does this 6 finish? That's quite a good question. I can only see one way of making that work. Because, again, if we think about bishop's colours, it has to finish in one of those 2 squares without touching itself, so it can't do that. So I think the only way is if it does that. So that's finished. It's really clever. It's really clever, this puzzle. Oh my goodness, right. Okay. This is not 8. For a lovely reason. If that's 8, it connects to this, encloses this cell, which has to be an 8. We get 2 8s. So that's not 8. So this is a 3-4 pair. The only place 8 can go now is here. So I don't know if I thought that was likely or not. So that must be right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is of length 8. This has to be separated. So this is okay. So now this is a 3. That's got to be a 4, which means it's got to grow. We've finished. We've found all of the serpents in the garden now. This is an 8 domino, and it's not 3, 5, and it's not 1, 7, so it is 2, 6, and I've got a 6 there. So that's 6, that's 2. 6 lives in one of these squares. And somehow or other, we're going to have to work out how this is all going to work now. This is no longer a 3 by the column. If you look at column 5, these 3 digits, 2, 3 and 6, they have to be in the garden, don't they? So they can't repeat then within that garden. I'll tell you a different way of thinking about that. This is a 7-cell segment which sums to 34, so it's missing 2 digits that sum up to 11 by the secret, and it's not missing a 2, so it's not missing 2, 9, it's not missing a 3, so it's not missing 3, 8, and it's not missing a 6, so it's not missing 5, 6, it is missing 4 and 7. Which therefore have to be down here in the column. There is no 4 and no 7. Okay, so what we could do then is we could say this is a 5 is what I'm going to claim, because I think it's legitimate. Effectively, it's legitimate to think of all the apples, as having a high digit in one of their positions, isn't it? They're one high and one low in all cases, and they never are. Yeah, hang on, and there has to... Well, no, I've thought of a totally different way of doing this. 5 is in this because 4 and 7 are the only digits missing, and 5 is never on a fruit, so that is a 5. I think I could have got to that a different way by thinking about the fact each one of those had to have a high digit that couldn't be a 7, but we don't need to do that now. So 9 is in this region. Oh, sorry, that's totally obvious. 9 has to go with a low number that is not odd, so it goes with 2 or 4, and it doesn't go with 4, it goes with 2. So these digits are 6s and 8s, going with 1s and 3s, because they can't go with even numbers. So now 5 in the column is down here. So this is 4, 5, 7. These are 1, 8, 9. And okay, and that's great. So that's got to be a 9. And 8 over here is this is lovely, isn't it? It's really smooth. Now, okay, well now I'm going to do more geometry then, because that is a length 9 snake. So it's got all the digits on it. Well, where's its 1, 3 and 8? Because it's not in those squares. That's got to be a 1, 3, 8 triple within the snake. That's not 1, that's not 3. Oh, bobbins. That nearly worked, but then didn't. Perhaps we could do... Yeah, okay. I'll use these 3 digits then. 2, 5 and 7 have to be on this snake. Where do they go? They don't go in that domino. They don't go in any of the other squares. So that's 2, 5, 7. These are 3. No, they're not 3 and anything. They're 4 and 6. Oh dear, that doesn't work either. Okay, but these don't include 6. So they do include 8. So this does include 6. And this has to be a 1 or a 3. Can't be 8 because I need an 8 on the forbidden fruit. And we did a lot of stuff there, but it doesn't... Oh, that's not 3, look. Oh, bobbins, we did a lot of stuff, but it didn't help us. 18 here, so these add up to 18. So, given we've already got a 4, these add up to 14 and don't use a 2. So do they have to have a 1? If they... no, they could be 3, 5, 6. Ah. Oh dear, okay, that's not how to do it then. Oh, where's 9 in this snake? I mean, not no, I don't... I mean, I know where the 9 is in the snake. Where's 9 in that box? It can't repeat in its own snake, can it? So that's got to be a 9. Okay, I don't know what to do with that. 9. Nearly. 9 in this box. Again, it's quite powerful, this rule, because the moment you get a digit in either a green or a grey, you know it can't repeat in that green or that grey. So 9 here rules out a 9 from those squares immediately, and obviously it rules itself out from its column. So 9 is in one of those squares, so 9 is in one of those squares. Okay, maybe that wasn't useful. We need, what do we need on that? We need a high digit, don't we? Doesn't this forbidden fruit have to have a high digit on it? And it's not 6, it's not 7, it's not 8. So this has to have 9 on it with an even digit, which is going to be a 2. So this isn't a 2. That's nearly very interesting. Oh, yeah, okay. Come back to this shape. That is a size 8 shape. So it's got all of the digits 1 to 9 on it, except one digit. Well, where's the 5 going in that sequence? And the answer is, I think, nowhere. This 5 and this 5 seem to see all of the available real estate. So this contains all of the digits except 5. So it has to have an 8 in it. And the 8 is not there or there. So there's an 8 in one of those 3. Oh, bother. Sorry, that's not... I mean, that just hasn't done it, has it? Can I get... Yeah, okay, 2 I can do something with. There's a 2 here and a 2 here. They're pinching quite a lot of cells. So there's a 2 in one of those squares. 2 in one of these squares. Okay, that's also done nothing. Oh, no, okay. I could have... Look, I should have done this earlier. 2, 2... 2 in this box by Sudoku is in those 2 squares, but that 2 has already appeared in a garden. So in order to keep our gardens as diverse as possible, we've got to put this 2 here, which gives us a 2 over here, which is going to probably peter out. How big's that region? That looks like it could be 9. 4. It is 9. Right, this has to have everything in it. Where is the 6 in it? Not there, not there apparently. So there's a 6 in one of those 2 squares. Oh, bother, that felt like quite a sensible deduction. And it just wasn't. What are these 2 digits? 4 and 5. Okay, that's something. That's something. 4 and 5 mean this square is a 7, because again we can't repeat a digit. So this is a 4-5 pair in row 8, and I still need 1, 7 and 8 to place. I'm not sure whether we can do that, but we can certainly get rid of 8 from this square. This square can't be 1 or 7, so that's the 8. So I know what these digits are now. I've not put 3 in here. This is a 3-6 pair. This is so cool. It's still not doing anything for me. That's not 3, I suppose, is one thing. Oh, it says 3 in column 7 is finished. Maybe there? 4, 6, 8. So this is 4 or 6. This is a naked single. C's 4 and 8 in the column. So that's 4, that's 8. That's 8, that's 1. That's, no, be careful. That's 8. This is a 1-3 pair. There might be other maths I've not thought about yet. 4, 5, 9. This is a 4 by Sudoku. So that's 4, that's 6. This is a 5, 9 pair. That 6 is nice. So that's 6, that's 3. I've not put 1 and 7 into this column. I am aware of that. 1 and 7 go in. The 18 now has 12 in it, doesn't it? So those have to, they have to be 1 and 5 because they can't be 2 and 4. And I've got a 5. Let's do Sudoku if we can. So that's a 7. This isn't a 1. That's not a 7. That's not a 5. Are we getting chocolate teapotted here? I think we are. Bother. 5 and 9. This is 5 or 9. Okay, let's try. We can do that. That's 7. That's 1. So that's 1. So there's a 1 in one of those squares. It's probably this. I think it's going to be this one. That feels like the unexplored garden. That's the secret garden that we haven't got to the bottom of yet. Now 9 goes in the bottom corner. 3 squared, so we could sing twice, but we won't. Okay. So these are from 4, 5, and 6. That's not 5. And whatever this is, it can't repeat in its garden, can it? And it can't repeat in its column. So that digit goes in there. So these digits are from 4, 6, and 9, and that's not able to be 4 by Sudoku. So this is 6 or 9. It's not 9, it's 6. And if that's 6, yeah, I think that's forcing everything, isn't it? Then that's got to be 9. That's got to be 6. That's got to be a 6 in the corner by Sudoku. And surely this is now 6. Can 6 go with either? Yeah, it's not like a German whisper, is it? So I can't now write 1 in here. What do we need? Oh, 5 there. Sorry, I didn't see that. We're not chocolate teapotted after all. And in this row we need 3 and 4, which we can do. We can put the 4 in, the 3, the 2. 5, 7, 9. This is a 7, naked single. That's a 5, that's a 9, so that's a 9, that's a 5. And we ought to be home and hosed now, I think. We just need 5 and 8 over here, which we can write in. We can write 8 here now. This is, what is it? 1 and 4. 4, oh. I'll check that apple in a minute. 4 and 7. That's okay, I think, isn't it? Okay, so that's 1, that's 3, that's 8. This is 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 3, 7, and we are finished. That is a lovely, lovely puzzle, Nordy. Really, really quality setting. Loved it from start to finish. This Zodiac project, or whatever it is an absolute wonder. Nordy, take a bow. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.